Mm-hmm. Yep. Studio's coming along real well. Welcome to the Hunt Studio. Today, we are continuing a series that I started several weeks back that is titled Let's Draw. The idea behind the Let's Draw is simply to just draw. Just draw stuff. Keep drawing. Stay motivated to draw. And the reason I did that is because I just want to be an artist. I want to make art, I want to draw, I want to make art, I want to paint, I want to do this stuff. Anyway, I've decided that this entire series is going to continue going while I fill up this entire sketchbook. I'm going to use this entire sketchbook for this whole series, and until this is done, we're just going to keep plugging and chugging with this little series. And as of right now, as of today, not quite halfway, almost halfway. Today, I'm going to actually draw a character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Seto Kaiba and the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And Seto is my literal favorite character from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Very nostalgic, very, very just awesome. Very strong, cool character. And we're going to draw him today. So strap in. For the sketching, I'm just using a regular pencil. It's actually a red sketching pencil that I've been using for a lot of my drawings here recently. For the inking, I'm actually going to use a Precise V5 rolling ball pen from Pilot. And this thing is awesome because this nib is incredible. It's the closest thing, I think, to a technical pen without having the hassle of a technical pen. I love this thing. It's Precise V5 rolling ball pen, extra fine. Sometimes I actually use this Uniball Vision. This thing's all beat up and gross, but it's for a much thicker line. Provides much thicker lines, so if I do like outlines, I like to use this one as well. Sketchbook, you know the sketchbook. I made this out of parts from Jazz's box, so I'm going to use this to make the drawing. Okay, I figured the best way to get this done is just to start, so we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna run with this. I started, like I do several of these drawings, is with a sketch with a red sketch pencil, but I skipped completely through all of that because I didn't want to sit there and bore you while I tried to find out the lines where I wanted everything to be, and I just skipped over that part so we can get to big good old juicy juice stuff. And honestly, whenever I started this drawing, at the very beginning, I was a little rusty, a little bit shaky. I had only had coffee, and it took me a little bit to fumble around with the hand before I got comfortable in that nice little inking flow, but I ended up getting to it. I wanted to do something a little bit differently this time and do a really close-up, really live, just real-time drawing instead of just blasting through the whole thing on, just really high up, the camera angle's high up, and just kind of blasting through it. So I figured I'd do something a little bit more real-time for the drawings. So you can see each individual line, basically, and because I want to put out videos, I want to put out content that I would personally want to watch. And I like watching people draw. I really do. I don't really love people just making the video entertaining outside of the art and then just blasting through the actual art. And well, bingo, bango, there's your video. So I'm taking the time to show you actually what it is I'm doing. I started out the inking phase with Seto Kaiba versus instead of doing it just with Blue Eyes first. I'd started out with Seto simply because I wanted to basically warm up. I wanted to warm up my inking, and I would rather screw up and goof up him before I did Blue Eyes. And by the time I got to Blue Eyes, I was definitely warmed up enough to where I could do his more long strokes all in one stroke. You know, it's his neck, for one, is very long. His wings are very long strokes, and I wanted to be good and warm and loose, but by the time I got to him. Coloring is going to be the exact same thing. I'm going to use these alcohol-based markers by Spectrum Noir, and again, these came out of Jazz's box, and I'm going to be using mostly this flexible nib here, right? Flexible nib on this end, and then there's a little tiny end here, little bullet nib, but I don't use this much. I more use the brush nib. The way I colored this entire piece is a little bit different than I usually do. Typically what I like to do is block out colors, the base color, and with each little section I like to use like 3 or 4 different colors for variation and shading and whatnot. And I go through and block out the colors, much like I do my painting. Do color blocking and then just kind of go deeper with the next color, the next darker color, and then the next and the next, and go about it that way. But this one I skipped around a lot, mostly because I didn't really plan out my color palette very much. I just kind of grabbed as I went along, and I think there's something to be said about a lack of planning, just kind of going in there and going off and getting it done. That's nice and freeing, but definitely if I want the product to be better, plan it out for sure. Take the time to pull the colors, test the colors on a separate sheet of paper, and make sure they're all cohesive and whatnot before. Versus this one, just kind of grab and there it is. There we go. Now again, once I got to Blue Eyes, with the coloring I had actually forgot to record a good chunk of his drawing. I meant to press record and I just kind of forgot. Oops, with the second colorway. But I did manage to do the Blue Eyes the way I usually do. I didn't skip around. I made sure to plan out my colors well, and which I mean it's blue, you know. Every shade of blue I had, that's what I used. So I just kind of dove in with the lightest, and then the medium, then the darkest, and then I came in with the black on the final part, and just kind of mapped them out. One last time, let's be predictable. Yeah, we're gonna actually use, again, Jazza's J-Pack. Jazza, just using the whole spectrum, right? Just using everything from Jazza. These are the colored pencils that came in the box, and they're just a good old set of colored pencils by Spectrum Noir. Any colored pencil will work, but these are the ones I have. Once I finished with the markers, actually I've been experimenting a lot with colored pencils. I typically go over the entire drawing with a colored pencil. But honestly, I got done with it, and I didn't like the end result, so I tried to kind of desperately fix it back. I didn't like that white that it left. But I mean, it is the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and somebody please explain to me why he's blue? But anyway, moving on to the background, the whole piece is in my sketchbook, and I needed it to feel some sort of solidified, solid, whatever. So I took some ink that I used with my fountain pen and a cup of water and 2 brushes, and I dip one in the ink and then I dip another one in the water. And I'll take the one in my left hand, the one left hand is the ink, and I'll dip that in there, and I'll let the right hand do most of the work. And that's the one with the water on it. And I try to get some sort of like an organic flow, like cloudy type texture. And so I used my less dominant hand, my right hand, to get that more, more organic, bit more random kind of feel to it. On that, let's see the final result. When I was a kid, I used to collect these things, like hardcore. And then I got older, and then I got my first job, and I started collecting them again as an 18-year-old adult. And then my collection got stolen, and then I got into it playing it competitively, and then I got a big, massive collection, and now I don't. These are all the cards I have now. I don't play the game at all, but I like the characters. I think they're cool, especially that guy. That's the end of the video. This is the end. This is the closing, and I'm gonna continue to do this as much as I want to. I'm in this space. I'm in this awesome, amazing studio that it's in my house, and until the lease runs out, until I run out of canvases, until I run out of paper, I'm just gonna keep making some art. So subscribe if you want to see me making some art and having fun and doing the thing and trying out new things, just trying things. So see you guys later. See ya. Oh man, none of these cards are any good.